everyone, I'm here today to tell you all about my first trimester pregnancy favourites. When I was putting together my list of things to include in this video, it was actually quite amusing how much of it is edible. I didn't realise that quite as many of my favourites were going to be either food or drink, so I'll start with that category because clearly that's my favourite. The first item is actually an empty tin because I have demolished all traces of these from my house. It is mandarin segments. There's something about, I think I've said in some of my updates, there's something about citrus at the moment and sort of tangy things that I just can't get enough of. I'm not so much fancying sweet, chocolatey, sugary things, but sweet things that are citrusy is just right up my street. I could quite happily sit and eat a whole tin of mandarin segments every single day. I'm not sure if that's good for you or not. Probably should look into that. I'm sure there's quite a lot of sugar in the syrup that they come in, but I guess it must be preferable surely to a whole slab of dairy milk or a massive piece of cake. So going along that kind of mentality, I guess it's not the worst craving to get, but I'm just can't get enough of it. I keep forgetting to stock up on them in my weekly shop because it's not something I've ever really eaten before. This kind of obsession came from nowhere, so I keep having to send my poor husband out to the shop to get them for me when I really need some mandarins. It's so weird, isn't it, what you want when you're pregnant? Anyway, next thing. The next thing, again, if I've said olives once in my pregnancy updates, I must have said it 100 times, so I know it must be really dull and boring for you, but it's been such a huge part of my first trimester that I can't not include a jar of olives. I promise that all my food cravings aren't of the healthier variety. I have definitely sat down and demolished half a block of mature cheddar and my own body weight in crackers and chutney, and occasionally I am fancying sweet stuff. Actually, along the whole citrus theme, the other day I could not stop thinking about lemon meringue cheesecake, and I managed to pick one up from Tesco, and had the kids not spotted it and asked for some, I could quite happily have sat there and ate the whole thing myself. It was amazing. When I was feeling at my most nauseous and gross at the beginning of the first trimester, this really helped to settle my stomach. I'm not a massive fan of ginger in tea. I don't mind it, but it's not something I would kind of drink regularly, but this one is one I used to drink before pregnancy anyway and loved, and it is the Tea Pigs licorice and peppermint, and I'm down to my last bag, so I'm gonna have to pick up some more. It's not the cheapest tea in the world, but there's only 15 in here and I don't know how. It seems to last me ages. I guess I don't drink it every single day. It's actually called Tea Pigs Sweet Treat, and it is really sweet. I guess it's got no added sugar or anything like that in it, but the licorice just gives it that little sweet taste, and the mint, the peppermint, seem to really settle my tummy and make me feel a little less nauseous. For my crazy weekend treat, I have been turning to Diet Coke. Now, I miss a glass of wine on a Friday and a Saturday, I'm not gonna lie. That is probably one of the things I miss the most. So when I'm feeling at my most hard done by, that I can't sit there with a glass of red wine, I will open a can of Diet Coke, and actually I'm really enjoying it. And I know it's not the best thing in the world for you, and I don't drink it every day. I tend to save it for Friday and Saturday. Wild. But I really like it. I look forward to it. I get excited when I see that I've got a can of cold Diet Coke in the fridge. Call me weird, that really does it for me. There are a few beauty bits and pieces that I've been using in my first trimester which have particularly worked for me and I've particularly enjoyed using. The first one is this Trilogy Organic Rosehip Oil. I can't remember where I first read about this. It was on a website where they were talking about celebrity favourites in pregnancy, I think. My favourite face oil to use is a Sunday Riley one, which has got, I can't remember off the top of my head, it's the Lunar Night Oil. I absolutely adore it, but apparently it's not great, it's not recommended for use in pregnancy. I think it's got quite potent ingredients. So just to be on the safe side, I haven't been using that, which I am missing. I have enjoyed using this as a substitute. It's completely organic, completely natural, and it's great for nourishing and replenishing your skin and hydrating it. I've been trying to drink a lot of water so that my skin doesn't dry out in the colder weather, and this is just helping keep any dryness at bay. For my body, I've been using two different products. The first one is an old favourite of mine, which I used religiously for years. It is expensive, so I always really resent having to fork out for it, but a bottle does last a really, really long time. It is the Kiehl's Creme de Corps. This is actually a limited edition bottle. It's normally a lot plainer than this, but I love this stuff. I discovered it years and years ago, and it just does something magic to my skin. My legs and like the tops of my arms get so dry in winter, and to the point where I started to notice little bumps appearing on the top of my legs, and it was down to just being dehydrated. I hadn't actually used this for a while, mostly because of how much it costs, but I thought, do you know what, I'm going to treat myself. I'm pregnant, I'm going to look after my skin. I use it every single morning before I get dressed, when I get out of the shower. It sinks in really quickly. It doesn't leave a sort of greasy film on your skin, and I just love it. Then in the evenings, I have been using good old coconut oil. This is the Vita Coco extra virgin, 100% raw, cold pressed organic coconut oil. There are thousands upon thousands of women who swear by coconut oil during pregnancy, and I just think it's great. It's not particularly expensive, a little goes a very long way, and I just use this in the evenings just on my bump and tops of my legs, thighs, bum, that sort of area, just as an extra step to kind of ward off any stretch marks. I've been lucky in all my pregnancies so far, and I've kind of escaped with two on the lower part of my stomach, which I got actually at the tail end of my first pregnancy. And there were a couple on my hips and thighs, but they have faded to the point where you can't really see them anymore. But I don't want on my fourth pregnancy to end up with a shed load of them. So with the Kiehl's moisturiser and the coconut oil, I'm hoping that I will keep them at bay. That's the plan. You mums will know that the one part of your body that ages the quickest from having kids, in my opinion, is your hands. I'm washing my hands multiple times a day, and the skin on the backs of my hands gets dry and looks really like crinkly and horrible if I don't moisturise it all the time. Again, I'm not sure where I spotted this. It was probably on Instagram or something like that. But this is a hand cream that I've just completely fallen in love with. It is supposed to be a peach, but it looks like a cross between a bum and a boob, which Dan, my husband, thinks is hilarious, but it is a peach, I can assure you, and it's by a brand called Tony Moly. They stock this on Cult Beauty, but I found this actually on Amazon. Someone had told me that you can get it on there, and I think it was shipped from elsewhere, not the UK, so it took a little while to arrive, but it was much, much cheaper, so it's worth shopping around. It smells so nice. It smells like peaches, as you would expect, but the formula of it is really nice. It's quite thick and sort of heavy. I use it at night time. I keep it next to the bed, and I use it just before I go to sleep and let it sink in overnight. And the pure comedy value, my kids' faces when they saw this was just hilarious. My daughter Merrin thought it was awesome and wants one. My son Dylan was like, "Mummy, why have you got a plastic bum?" And yeah, I didn't really know what to say to that, because it does look just like a bum. The last few bits that I wanted to mention actually come under the category of entertainment. First trimester pregnancy entertainment favourites, there you go. The first one, again, it's not specific to pregnancy, but I've personally been enjoying it in my first trimester, and it's the Audible app. If you're not familiar with Audible, it's basically an app on your phone where you can listen to audiobooks. You just download them through your regular Amazon account as you would any other book, and it gets transferred to the Audible app on your phone. I love this because I was such a bookworm before I had children, and since having kids, it just doesn't happen. So with the Audible app, even though I'm still pretty useless at finishing a book, I can listen to it. It's so convenient. I can put it on to play like I would like the radio or a CD in my car, put it to the side so it's not distracting me, and just listen to a book while I'm driving, or sometimes I listen to it while I'm cooking in the evening and the kids are doing other things. Plus the fact that I'm so tired in the evenings and going to bed earlier means that I can listen to it then. I just find it a really convenient way of reading books. I've mentioned this so many times in my pregnancy update, so I won't go on about it too much now, but the Pregnancy Plus app I have really loved in my first trimester. is so nice, especially since the growth is so rapid really early on. I think it goes from like a grain of rice to a raspberry within a week or two. And just to be able to visualize the growth of your baby in that way, I've just really enjoyed following it. And also I like that it sends me notifications, so if I haven't checked it for a couple of days, it'll remind me to go back and have a look, and it reminds me how many weeks along I am, because, you know, baby brain, I need a reminder every now and then. I've just really enjoyed checking it on a regular basis for the last couple of months. My last but by no means least favourite of my first trimester has been my lovely fellow channel mum pregnant vlogger friends. That was a mouthful. There's quite a few of us over on the channel mum team at the moment who are having a baby, and in fact the whole channel mum team. I'm sure you're familiar with them all already, but I just wanted to give it another shout out because these ladies, there is nothing that between them all that they don't know about pregnancy and labour and newborns and toddlers and weaning and breastfeeding and bottle feeding, and you name it, it's all on the channel mum website. As I mentioned, I'll link it below, but if you're particularly looking to follow pregnant vloggers at the moment, there's quite a few of us, so I'll link them individually as well. They're such a lovely, supportive, honest, friendly bunch of girls, so I love following their pregnancy updates and all their updates in general. I'm like a proper stalker. They really are the nicest bunch of people. If you don't already follow Channel Mum and the vloggers that I'm going to list below, which I'm sure you already do, but just in case you've missed one or two, I'll link them below. Please go and check them out, you won't regret it. So that is it, that's all my favourite products and stuff and things from my first trimester of pregnancy this time round. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're pregnant too, and you think I'm really missing out on something that I should be using for my second trimester, please let me know below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel. I'll leave a little button in the top corner so that you can easily subscribe so you don't miss any of my pregnancy updates or other videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.